Hello, my name is Dr. William Benner. I'm Assistant Professor of Spanish at Texas Women's University. I'm also the coordinator to the Foreign Languages program here. I got my PhD in Spanish and Portuguese at Tulane University in New Orleans, and I have a master's in Spanish from University of South Carolina and a bachelor's of science in psychology and a minor in Spanish from College of Charleston, which is in Charleston, South Carolina. Let's see here. So as far as Spanish, Spanish is definitely a part of my identity. I grew up speaking Spanish in the household. My mom is from Uruguay. My dad is from Florida. And so I grew up celebrating cultural differences and celebrating language learning. My mom and father are educators themselves, so naturally taking the route of an educator was just very, very easy for me. I knew what the career looked like and what kind of life you get as an educator. So as far as TWU and multilingual students, I would say multilingual students in class are usually excel in Spanish classes because they already know a language, so they're quite familiar with just the basic, practices of learning a language from scratch. So this is a large percentage. I think what makes Texas and TWU, I have kind of the same comments, is that Texas has about 6.9 million households speak another language, a language other than English in the household. And in Dallas County and Harris County in Houston, right? 34% of households speak Spanish in the house. So there's just a large population of students at TWU and people in Texas that speak more than one language. And I'd say challenges of let's see here. So as far as multilingual writers, I guess supporting multilingual writers' advice about multilingual writing, especially at a bachelor's level, I'd say that when you get feedback, it can be discouraging when a professor gives you a lot of feedback on a writing assignment. And I would say that, this is in graduate school in particular, this was really important for me to learn, was that when a professor gives you a lot of feedback, that usually means they're very interested in what you're doing. So it's actually a positive, not a negative. So I guess that's my little piece of advice as far as multilingual writing and just writing in general is don't be discouraged when you get a lot of feedback. In fact, those are the kind of people that you wanna work with because they're very interested in what you're doing and what you're writing. As far as pedagogy, if you're looking to become an educator and teach to bilingual students, multilingual students, I would say one tip is probably an obvious tip, is to be very clear with the instructions for informal and formal writing assignments. I find that clear instructions of what you're expecting, including a rubric, for example, really helps students just understand what they're supposed to be doing. I model a lot of what I'm expecting. So I give students, for example, an outline so that they know, okay, I need a thesis statement here, introduction there, you know, and I'll even write a, you know, a sample of you know, what I want from them. So I would say that for me is a very powerful tool as an educator, and that really helps just students across the board. And I'd also say that as an educator, you're being very positive and celebrating, especially if students are beginning. Celebrating production is just makes things a lot easier, and it builds confidence. I think as an educator, it's very important to be sensitive to that, that you are looking to build a student's confidence in whatever language they're writing in. And so it's kind of a balancing act between providing feedback and also remembering that the student, you know, might not interpret this feedback as something that you're deeply invested in, and rather that they did something wrong. So I think as an educator, it's very important to just always be sensitive when it comes to writing, to inject confidence. Yeah, that's about it. But you know, if anybody wants to continue the conversation, you can email me at wbenner@twu.edu.